There we go. We're here. That's good. Music's gone. Moving through obstacles. Boom. That's kind of gone. We're going to put on our second slide there. We're good to go. We are good to go. I want to welcome everybody to Monday, July 25th. Exciting, isn't it? Tomorrow's even more exciting. Tomorrow's my anniversary. My Fanai's anniversary. 30 years, July 26th. 30 years. Kind of unbelievable, huh? Right? Hmm. Anyhow, so we'll be taking the day tomorrow. So that's the way that goes. Maybe we'll make a post someplace, but probably not. Probably not. We'll see what happens on that one. So 30 years married. It's all good. But today is Monday, July 25th. We are excited. It's a couple minutes after 1 o'clock, so a few minutes late on that one. But wanted to further a conversation actually. Not about racing, not about anything like that. That's not it. Not about the vocational programs, not about that. Branding? Yeah, I would think so. Marketing? No, not really. Not really about marketing. More the branding side, the public relations side of things, more about the absolute reality. Yeah, that authenticity thing. Truly, what is authentic? As I put up in the comments over here about this thing, like when you get involved in something, it's like, are you really involved? Are you kind of involved? What if somebody else is there? Are they really engaged in the whole process? Or not? What is really going on? What's going on in their mind? Are they serious about the whole thing, or are they not? That really is the question. You know, how do you know? How do you really know? When you get supporters that are doing something for you, club members, anything like that. Let's get rid of that one there. Any club members or anything? Sorry, should have the computer out in front of me a little bit more so I'm not turning ahead. But are they there to ride your coattails? Are they there because they really are for that effort, for that organization? Are they there for the marketing side of it, PR side of it, or the authenticity side of it? Kind of interesting. So the conversation actually centered around some of these nonprofits. Now we can look at things from a nonprofit standpoint. Many of the nonprofits, when they do their walks, their fundraisers, they're looking to raise money in order to further their cause, right? They're looking for money for either research, they're looking for money for programs that they can then turn around, take those funds, and then help the people that they serve. Sounds great. Certainly sounds great. Is every organization doing that? Sad to say, but no, really is not. Are there organizations out there that are just professional fundraising organizations that are taking fees out of what monies they raise? And I mean exorbitant fees. I'm not talking about small fees. Every nonprofit ultimately is a business. It's a business. You have to take money in. Got to be a revenue stream. Maybe it's from donations, maybe it's from grant money, stuff like that. Sponsorships. Okay, but there are people that have to be paid. There are things that have to happen. It does cost money to buy products, services in order to serve the community. So there are expenses. There's nothing wrong with that. The question is, when do expenses get to be too much? When you donate $1 to something and only 30 cents of that dollar gets to the people that you think that money is going to serve, is that good? That sounds like a very low number to me. Maybe an organization you are donating to has got that kind of percentage. Take a look. And there are different websites you can go to. But take a look to see about those funds as to how many people it goes through, how much in the way of expenses are there, how they're accounting for their expenses. And look, some organizations might have a load of expenses, and maybe it is justifiable. I'm not going to tell you it's not, but I'm going to tell you that's a low number. That is definitely a low number. So research it and go find out. Now, That's an organization where there's a low number. What about an organization where there's a high number? Sometimes they break apart their expenses in different ways as that goes. And why wasn't that's fine. Should you know? Yeah, I mean, if this is a concern of yours, to know. I donate $1 to an organization. They tell me every dollar gets put to use for the people they service. That's awfully impressive. So you mean to tell me nobody gets paid? There are no expenses? You're not renting a place anywhere, anything like that? It's like, is that real? Well, maybe they're just breaking it apart differently. Maybe they are doing a fundraise where every dollar raised goes directly to whatever the program is. And that's because they have another company that's out there that's supporting the expenses. Maybe that company is donating the space that they have in their building. I've seen that happen with a couple of different organizations. I'm not going to mention names because I don't know what the current status is, but I know this was a topic that came up in the past where they needed space, warehouse kind of space. A company had the warehouse space to donate to them, didn't charge them anything for it, so they did have it for free, and that was great. It really was. So then they were able to have a much higher percentage of whatever dollars raised go to the people they're serving, or maybe they're doing a special fundraiser where 100% of those funds go to the people that they are serving because another company is coming in and taking care of all of the operational side of it, the setting up the website, the collecting the fees, accounting for the fees, and stuff like that, the collecting for the money that's come in. That's fantastic. It really is. So my point on that whole thing from the nonprofit standpoint is make sure that you understand and you know. You should know where your money is going. You should know how your money is being spent. And if there are questions, you can take a look at some of the filings that these companies have. Take a look on the website, see how it's broken down, make a phone call, find out what's happening. Just want to know. Okay, that's the nonprofit side. What about those folks that are getting involved in the nonprofit community, that are getting involved in some project or something like that? How real are they when they do that? Is it for the right reason? You might say if you're a nonprofit and you're looking to raise money and somebody writes you a check for a large sum of money, care? I think you really should care no matter what. I mean, if somebody comes in and writes a check that's extraordinarily large, extraordinary out of the ordinary, it's like, why are they doing that? Why are they doing that? And I know it's very tempting because so many groups need money. Why are they doing that? Is that a question to ask? Yeah, because no matter how you cut it, whether you're on the nonprofit side or you're on the donation side, a company donating money, your reputation is everything. Everything, your reputation, your brand, all of that, everything. You get money in, there are examples of that one again. Not going into specifics. You could figure out your own on that one. But if you get money donated to you by somebody who's collecting funds that are just not really collected the right way, or they're looking to buy the publicity because they want to affiliate with your group and they're maybe a questionable company, it's another something to take a look at. Everything should be looked at across the board. But let's get into the other side of it too. Here you are. You are a business owner. You have a business. Where should you be involved in the nonprofit community? And I think you should. I've said this time and time again. I do believe that every one of us, you're an individual, a small business owner, a larger business, should be involved in the community, your community, in some way, shape, or form that makes sense for both you. Look, reality here. Got to make sense for you. Got to make sense for your employees. If everybody's in line with everything, it should be. And it also should make sense for that nonprofit. Look, you don't want to donate money to a nonprofit that you got no connection with, no nothing with, whatever. And it's like, again, Why? There's always got to be some connection someplace. And it could be something that's not publicly seen. That's fine. It really is fine. Look, if you want to support your employees' decision as to getting behind a nonprofit, how do you go about doing that? Why would you do that? Well, how do you go about doing that? Is that you leave it up to the employees to decide what nonprofits they want to get behind. Fair enough. You as a company need to put your blessing on that one. You want to support your employees. If your employees want to go this way, I think that's great. You also want to make sure that that company, that the nonprofit you're donating to is, again, viable, valid 501c3 organization, filing the report, making all the notifications of who's on the board, who's doing the different aspects of it, what the mission statement of that nonprofit is, and that it's all clear, all above board, all good. And if you're a company that really wants to support your employees and the employees' decision, and you're good with the rest of that, right? You got to take a look at the legal aspect of this thing. But you're good with that, and you have no connection, no corporate connection with that nonprofit. Hey, I think that's great. I actually think that's really superb. That'd be great. I think that's superb. Because what's happening here is that you're taking care of the people that are really taking care of the company, that are really the company, your employees. That's the success of any company. It's your employees. Is it a selfish thing to do? I'll say yes, and I'll say no. Here's the no. Is it selfish for the company to get behind it? Well, the company doesn't benefit from it. It's not going to generate any revenue, any visibility in your target market for the company. So now it's got nothing to do with you. So I think that's really nice. What a soft word that is. Afternoon, Karen, my wife of 29 years, 364 or 5 days, whatever that leap year thing is, as that goes. One more day. That's 30 years. But is that just a nice thing to do? And again, nice is such a beautiful word. Isn't such a soft word? It's a nice guy, a nice woman, nice company. Well, look, we all want to work with people that are nice, right? You don't want to work with an idiot unless that person's brilliant and maybe you got an overriding factor there. But for the most part, we want to work with nice companies. So that's a nice thing for them to do. It's not a standout thing for the public to see that company do it, but it certainly is a nice thing. Nice. But we can look at that thing from a selfish standpoint. Let's assume we are the company. Selfishly speaking, should we do that? And seen by the public is nice, but what's the benefit to the company? It's clear, absolutely clear. And there is one company that absolutely comes to mind on this whole thing. It shows that the company, management of the company, the board members, the executives, call it whatever you like, really understand that one very, very important thing. It's the employees. They care about the employees. They care about what the employees are thinking. They want and see the fact that the employees are a part of the company. They want to show as much as they possibly can, who they are, who they work for, and that they are involved in something and as a group. As a group, I got to imagine it's a group of people making this call. They're out there and they're making that decision, and their company cares about them enough that they're allowing them to do that legally, but they're caring about that. You know what that creates? Selfishly speaking, as a business owner, selfishly speaking, right? That creates loyal employees, doesn't it? Creates engaged employees, doesn't it? That creates employees that care about the company because the company cares about them. It cares about their opinion. It cares about their thoughts. It cares about their wishes. And it cares about what they care about outside of the company. It's not just making sure the company runs smoothly. It's not just making sure that everything is very efficiently handled. within the company, within that 9 to 5 arena, 9 to 5, whatever that means anymore for many of us, or whatever. It shows that the company cares about what's going on in the personal lives of those employees and what they care about. That's selfishly, well, that's a big benefit to the company from within. So some of the stuff that a company does may not be seen publicly as a benefit, but privately, internally, absolutely, absolutely is. Again, I've seen that happen in so many different places, and it's just such a great thing to go and see. Now, when you get companies too that show up at these walks, few of the places that I'm involved with, and few of the nonprofits that I would look to support in different ways, I've seen just absolutely phenomenal participation with it. I mean, just great, really terrific. So when we, with the walks that I do with the nonprofit I'm involved with, you know, and you get not only just the companies coming down there, they take the booths and providing information about their companies and maybe samples, not depends what they are. When they show up at the employees in the booth, that's nice. It definitely is nice and it's great and it's money generating. It's good and there should be publicity. I'm more than happy to. And as you know, I MC those things. I'm more than happy to talk about how these companies have come down there. It's great. It's a win. It definitely is a win for all sides. And then I find out also privately that many of those vendors that are at some of these events, they do have a personal connection. It's just not broadcast out. Hey, that's fine. Really good. And then some other companies go really overboard. Yeah, they're probably wearing the company logo shirts and things like that. Probably. Some do, some don't, but probably will be. And they certainly have the banners that are up over there. But then the employees come down on an event that's held on the weekend. Man, that's something. That's a special thing. And raising money, not just writing company check, but raising money from the employees on side of it. That really is something. That's totally engaged. That really is a nice thing to see. There's another story I heard too, is that not only does this company participate in an event, they run the event. Again, I didn't speak to them directly. That's why I'm not using it. You can probably paint a picture, figure out who's doing some of these things. But it's another organization. It's an event that a company runs, and they look at this thing as a unique opportunity to not only support the nonprofit and to raise a great amount of money for the nonprofit, but they look at it as like a company outing, and they invite their employees, but they also invite the folks that they work with, the vendors, their affiliates, all the rest of that stuff. It becomes a great day for everybody and an absolute win for everybody. Nonprofit gets a whole bunch of money. That business gets a whole bunch of nice PR as that goes. Get a chance to chat in a very informal setting with their vendors, with their employees, with their affiliates, maybe even some customers too, because it's a nice thing to see, nice thing to do, nice thing to participate in, and a great cause on top of it all. Good. So here's the thing want to make sure that we get the point across is that, for many businesses, if you're a large business, getting involved in a nonprofit in a meaningful way is easier than getting involved in a nonprofit in if you're a smaller company. How do you vet this whole process? Well, it can be done, but you need somebody to go out there and do that and make sure it works. How do you decide which nonprofit to get behind? You know what? If you're a big business, you can leave it up to the employees. Maybe the executives do it. If the executives do it, you don't include the employees. I've seen that happen. It was a company I was working with, working for, not with. I was working for. The CEO put out a message about what caused that the CEO and the company was getting behind and was looking for everybody to make donations to it. Mm. Now, I couldn't tell you that everybody thought that was bad, but I can tell you my own point of view. It's like, no, I don't think so. I don't think so. Am I in the same camp with you as this thing? No, no, I was not. And maybe that was an indication that maybe I was not in this prior place, you know. But maybe that was a true indication that I was in the wrong place. I was just working for the wrong company because I was not totally aligned with that company as a backwards thought process. That really could be. Because if I really was in line with that company and they were doing supporting an effort that was for the betterment company, of the company, and maybe I just really would have been all for it because yeah, that makes a lot of sense. The rest of it, but it wasn't. So maybe the bad there was not the company. Maybe the bad there was me. But I still thought it was improper the way it was done. It wasn't demanded, but depending upon who you are, what level you're at with the company, you know, they knew who was making donations because it all went through payroll. Of course, they knew who was not making donations because it all went through payroll. So, you know, you got to be careful on that one. But if you're at a company and you decide what business you want to get behind, what nonprofit you want to get behind, leave it up to the employees to do. I think that's great. You got to do the vetting process and the rest of that. But what if you're at, and I'm going to make a suggestion over here, and this is not the nonprofits that I get behind directly, but I thought this was an interesting setup by a company, by a nonprofit that started with two people that I absolutely think are terrific. Uh, so, I fully value their efforts and what they're doing and the reasons why they're doing what they're doing and the group that they actually are looking to serve by what it is that they're doing. And I'll stop talking in circles on this whole thing. But I want to talk to you about your point of view on the whole thing. If you really can't figure out what nonprofit you want to get behind, well, you can spend the time, energy, and effort figuring it out. And if you have a personal connection to a nonprofit and you want to know something, my standpoint on that one is do it because it's not just what's the benefit to me from a financial standpoint, what's the benefit to me from a PR standpoint. I think ultimately when it comes down to us getting involved in nonprofits, it's what's the benefit to me emotionally. What is that true emotional side of it that really drives me to do this? And I don't care if anybody knows, doesn't know, whatever. If it does work out that way, you know what? That's nice. It's not the end all. That's not why we do should be doing what we do. I got most of that sentence out properly. Marketing, different. You're doing marketing, you're doing marketing for a purpose, you're getting in front of your target market, you're looking to generate business flat out. Return on investment, all the rest of that stuff. PR, no, 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 no. So yeah, there might be some PR that goes along with whatever it is that you're doing, but it's that emotional makes yourself feel good. That's really what's important. If you can donate a portion of your income, great. You donate a portion of your time, great. You just donate once in a while when you can. That's that part-time thought. Some people are all in, some are part-time, some are when they can. That's fine. That's fine. But I still think it's important for you to do that as a business owner, as a salesperson, as an individual to get behind something. But one group I want to highlight over here is like, what if you really just don't know? What if you are blessed with the fact that you really have no affiliation with a nonprofit because you haven't been through something? I want to meet you, by the way. If you've never been through anything and you just like, you know, everything's great, oh, good, no issues, no nothing, no hardships, but you want to support the overall community and something like that. Well, here's the group. Here's the group. I'm going to add this to the stream over here. And they have a fundraiser coming up too. And just wanted, it was the nicest way to kind of bring this thing up over here. But the group's called the Spheres of Influence. So Rick Emirata and Lenore Paprocki are the two founders of it. They are not the board members of this thing, they are the founders of it. I think that speaks a lot too. They wanted to create this, but they didn't want to be the ones creating and being the decision makers of this whole thing. So they're not. They're not. There is a board, that's there. You can go to the website. LI Spheres of Influence. I'll put the link up for that one as we sit here. LI Spheres, and I wrote it. I had it before. So you could see all the different the board members and stuff like that. Yeah, it's lispheres.com, and I'm just going to throw that in the chat right now while we're speaking. But and they do have an event coming up August 3rd. It's $75 if you register in advance, 95 if you go at the door. The windows on the lake. The Pellegrinos, great people over there too. I'm sure it's going to be fantastic. From the fun standpoint, as it goes. They're raising money for a for the Virgie Bowie Nursing Vision Award, and what that is, and this is important too. So the Long Island State Veterans Home is a nonprofit. So would Spheres of Influence get behind the Long Island State Veterans Home as a nonprofit? The answer is no, and I'll explain why. But they have a fundraiser for a subset within there, and these are for people that are totally dedicated to the learning process to become nurses, and that's what they're helping to raise money for. And then I'll explain that one. Let me just put the link in over here and get down to why I thought this was a pretty darn interesting or very interesting, group. So the Spheres of Influence. So what it is, they are a nonprofit. They are a 501c nonprofit. The folks or the people that are there, all volunteering and make that work. What they are looking to do is they are looking through membership, and it's $300 a year membership, and these different events to raise money. This way, they have funds that can be donated to, and time and energy that can be donated to small nonprofits. These are the nonprofits that are not getting grant money, that are not big enough to hold their own events where they're raising money, and it's very hard to do that. And there are some places they can go to raise money, but these are the nonprofits that really don't have the overall backbone to really raise any significant amount of money or to really be able to promote what it is that they're doing in a big way. And that's what this group is all about. So now here's your side of it, right? If you get involved with Long Island Spheres of Influence over here, right? One, I think, you got to make your own decision on this one. Is that a good group to be involved in? They support small 501c nonprofits that are all vetted too. So they're doing the vetting on their side. You can do the vetting when it comes to them as to whether or not you want to be affiliated with them and the executive staff and the board members and their efforts in some of these events that they do. But you make that decision. Now, all of a sudden, you could stay on your own website, your own PR side of it, that you are supporting a nonprofit that supports smaller nonprofits. It's kind of nondescript, so it's a little bit in that nice category. They're doing a lot of the backbone work that goes along with it. You're kind of riding that coattails if you're just going to be a member, or if you get involved a little bit more, or if you share your expertise with them a little bit more at these events a little bit more. Now, all of a sudden, you can get involved more so. You can go all in, you can go when you can, or you could be just a quieter supporter. But you can't say that you're a member of Spheres of Influence. People look. I'm going to end on this note. Oh, 30 minutes. All right. People look. They do. I know every time I get introduced to somebody someplace, I'm taking a look on their LinkedIn page, their Facebook page, maybe website, whatever it is. I want to see what it is that they do and who they are as a person. Right? Most of the time, it's a referral from somebody, so you got that aspect of it. But still, what are you doing? What are you doing? You can tell me you're very active on social media. You're not doing anything, really? You're going to tell me that you support the community when you're not doing anything really to support the community? Really? All that stuff matters. It's nice. It's supportive. You have to be you. Figure out what is the most important thing for you to do, for you to be true to you. People will follow. Those that really should follow will follow. But be true to you. That's going to drive you. That's going to make you excited on every Monday when you go back to work for the week. It's going to make you excited to get through those speed bumps every time they pop up. Oh, and they will pop up. It's going to make you excited every time that you're like, am I really doing the right thing here? Am I going? How much more effort do I put into it? If you know you're doing things for the right reason, you'll continue to put that effort into it. And people will see it. They'll definitely see it. All right. I'm going to end it there. Remember, speak well, speak often, live inspired. You just might inspire somebody else to do exactly the same.